Forward to the cloud. So today is transmission 4, and this is all about royal bloodlines. I'm really excited for this one. I'm always get excited for these. And I was kind of dreaming into this one. I just want to go to the Way of Sacred She website for just one sec while we're waiting. sacredshe.com. Okay. I was dreaming into this one a little bit. I found myself doing that. And then I had to stop myself because I didn't want to project anything onto what I thought might come through for today. Because I absolutely love seeing the field speak, but I was super excited because there's so many ways. There we go. There's one more. Trudy, now I know that that's you. Welcome. Because there's so many ways that this one could go. So today is, let's see here, I'm just going to head on over to the web page and I'm going to read transmission 4. So transmission 4, royal bloodlines, recalibrating your spiritual DNA. Yes, your true lineage is royal, or have you forgotten? Are you living in the programming of generational trauma, clouding your cellular makeup and royal radiance? Let's travel back to the origins of our bloodline, healing, clearing, and upgrading the spiritual matrix of cellular memories to activate both matriarchal ancestral wisdom and divine feminine legacy codes backwards and forwards through time. So that's the precursor to what we're diving into today. And I was also reflecting on how each call is kind of weaving together some really a beautiful tapestry, and one is kind of building on top of the other. We ended last call, we looked a lot at the servant girl or the slave girl. I know for myself, that was a really big shift when it came to making more money in my business and showing up in a greater place of ease where I could align to my creative power and know that it could be easy and know that things could really work on my behalf. And we ended it with that rooting into or landing in our throne power. So it's so perfect, so perfect. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stop video, but it's always nice to just pop in and say hi. I've got my drum handy today. I'm gonna pop back on. So I love her, and she doesn't always come out to play, but she got my attention as I was walking over to get set up. So I may bring her into the scope of our journey today. I'm gonna go back, shut the recording off. So yeah, welcome. I'm super excited to be here with you. So we'll go ahead and we're going to dive into the opening prayer and visualization. Hopefully you've got your sacred space set up. I know I do. And I've got a little bit of this beautiful aura spray. I'm going to give a little spritz there. And with that, we're just slowly dropping into body, into beauty, into soul. Taking a moment to come back to our bodies, to come back to the beauty and the richness of the present moment. And we'll just go ahead and take a moment and noticing what you notice around you. Feeling, seeing, sensing the beauty that's all around you. I'm holding a red, very earthy crystal in my hands, and I can't recall the name of it at the moment, or I would share it with you. But just kind of giving thanks for anything that's around you. Touching your body, letting your fingertips kind of dance over your thighs, maybe your shoulders and your arms. We're just kind of bringing ourselves back into body temple, giving thanks and gratitude to our bodies. And with that, closing our eyes, going within. Taking a breath in through the nose, down into the belly and out through the mouth. We'll go ahead and we'll take a breath in of love into the belly, and then just breathing out anything that feels dark or heavy through the mouth. We'll take that breath in through the nose now, down into the womb. Maybe you even want to, we'll exhale that, and we'll bring another breath in through the nose and down into the womb. Letting that energy stir and speak to us. Maybe you want to place your hand on your womb. And we're just going to breathe and rest into that space. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call the creator of all beings, the creatrix of all beings. I'm going to call the angels, the angels, the angels to be present, Archangel Michael to be present. Asking Archangel Michael to please clear all cords, hooks, energetic attachments that are running from ourselves or to any other person that isn't in alignment with our highest good. Clearing out all untruths, all illusions, any mind viruses, any programs, just clearing it all out from the fields of ourselves. Anyone here on this call, anyone who'll be listening to this call in the future. And we'll go ahead and just start letting our body weight drop and drop, resting into our back bodies, allowing ourselves to be fully held and supported by the matrix of Mother Earth, all her strength and all her power. And just going ahead and even softly whispering out loud or to yourself, but calling in your helpers, calling in your guides, asking them to come a little bit closer. All of our spiritual allies, our guardian angels, all of the beings, and all of the universal energies that we have available that want to work with us, that want to support us and work on behalf of us beyond this veil. And we're just going to allow ourselves to just lean into and fully receive that support and know that support is there, that we're always loved and that we're always being taken care of, that nothing is ever being withheld from us, and that all of our sacred desires are meant for us. So go ahead and call down the temples of divine love, light, truth, abundance, wisdom, and power to descend around us now, calling in our guides, guardians, masters, angels, teachers to be here, to be present. Asking this to be a clear and divinely protected space where only the highest frequencies of love and light shall pass in and out of, that we are anchored into a space of clear divine truth and protection. Banishing all negative influences or interferences, should there be any. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. We're going to bring our focus to the heart space now. Seeing some rose quartz light dance and splash and swirl through the heart space, in between the shoulder blades. And we'll go ahead and we'll see like a beautiful, cool waterfall kind of trickling over our throat, Just visualizing this beautiful rain or a waterfall, visually just seeing it kind of wash and flow through the throat chakra down into the heart chakra. Seeing it all swish and swirl with that rose quartz light, all being carried away and transmuted. Bringing your focus to the heart space, we're going to see a magenta rose bloom open. And then from this place, we're going to allow the golden grid of the flower of life begin to expand and swirl out from the heart space located at the center of the chest. Letting this pure wisdom and high frequency light, the radiant divine substance of all of creation that's interwoven into all of life, begin to permeate and infuse itself within us, out from us, and all around us into the Akashic field. Letting this light continue to grow, expand, and interpermeate with the physical and non-physical reality that exists before us, all around us, and within us. And we're going to let that radiant divine substance that flows through all of life continue to flower and expand from the heart chakra, then seeing, sensing, feeling now as the doors to the Akasha and all the wisdom and love of the Akasha open to us now. And we're just going to allow ourselves now to feel held and cherished in the sacred field of the Akasha. And so it is. In this space, just going ahead and just noticing what you notice. And the first thing that I am noticing is a snake. Snake medicine came in through the prayer, and I felt snake kind of like wiggle up my spine and then kind of wouldn't leave and just kind of just like sitting up the peripheral. So we're really talking about Shakti, the powerful life creative force of the divine feminine. And how, and you know, whatever, if you're, the invitation is to, you know, invite that snake medicine into your peripheral. And we're just like allowing, last week it was butterfly, this week it's snake. And we're just going to allow snake to bring that medicine and to, it's so funny, and to watch where snake may show up in your experience over the next week, and what snake means to you, what snake wants to communicate to you. And it's so interesting because I think of the coiled snake. I think about how snakes shed their skin. It's very symbolic of like raw feminine power. And then I was thinking of the butterfly last week and where and if butterfly had shown up in my experience. And I was like, I don't know that it had. And we're not really in like the climate right now where you would see many butterflies. But I, for a moment, paused because I realized that I've had like this really pretty kind of like pink more champagne with like really beautiful black markings, this moth hanging out on my wall in the kitchen. And I didn't leave her. Like I didn't take the moth and like make it go outside. I just like let her hang out on the wall. And it's like 2 days of like this moth, really pretty. She wasn't like really big. So I just kind of like let her hang out on the wall. So I'm going to sit with that for a little bit because I did have some, you know, a cousin to the butterfly, the moth, show up in my space. So we just want to watch and pay attention to where the medicine is speaking to us on this journey. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to listen now to where this all wants to go. All right, so the snake has turned into here we go. The snake has turned into, there we go, you're muted. Awesome, welcome. The snake has turned into a staff. And it's like, you know, kind of this like one of those like wobbly wooden, like you can see like the tones and the textures of the wood. And it's like this, it wouldn't be like exactly like a staff because it's actually like, and it's like, it's beautiful. So the snake has turned into this like this really beautiful wooden, there's another word for it, staff. And the woman who has it is like this like old kind of like messy haired, and I love how she's showing up as a guy, but this like old messy hair, kind of haggled, I don't even know if that's a word, but anyways, and she's like bigger and she's got long white hair, and she's like, she feels very ancient and very cave woman looking. And so she's walking forward, and I'm just seeing her in my mind's eye, the way she's coming through from the field is on the earth. I can see the sunset, and she's kind of walking forward. And so it all feels very ancient, but not in the way that I actually would have expected it to come forward. So, okay, so the message is about, this is like about the medicine of like our grandmas, like it's like the medicine of like our matriarchal lineage. And that will look different for each woman, but this woman, okay, and the invitation is to see how this old ancient woman, like your grandmother's grandmother's grandmother, wants to reveal herself to you, because there is some medicine here for all of us. So just like noticing, maybe you want to write down what you're seeing, or maybe you just want to receive it, and that's fine too. And I'm going to just take a moment and just tune into the symbolism of what's coming through and where all of this wants to go. So I get the sense that she is a storyteller, and I'm seeing her sitting, I actually feel really touched, because I feel like we're definitely in some sort of like an ancient timeline, and she's sitting, and it's on the earth plane, but it's not on the earth plane, and she's sitting by a fire, and she is showing me the stars, and she's showing me the stars and us the stars, and the merging of the stars with the earth, and how we are these beautiful star beings that have come to the planet Earth, and that we are ancient star beings that have come to this earth. And it's why so often so much of what happens here doesn't make sense. And it's also why so many of us star beings, star travelers, have come to this experience at this time. So interesting, because this isn't where I thought this would go, but it'll all tie together so beautifully. And the message is really that we're being reminded of like the star seed mission. The mission, and mission can carry too, it's like without taking mission as a sense of duty or responsibility, but it's about giving ourselves like the full authority and permission to access, tap into, express and embody the ancient codes of like galactic and starseed wisdom that we're really here to embody at this time on the planet. And many of you are feeling this, and it's feeling almost the way that it's coming through is wiggly, like there's something more that's ready to come through. And where is the place for it? What does it look like? And And the wiggle feels too, it's like at an essence level, at a soul level, it's the feeling of the intensity of sharing the sparks of star codes, of star wisdom that it is that you're here to and share. And and the word that's really coming through very strong is actually teach. I have a sense that many of you or all of you, and I'm just like thinking about who I've connected with in the group and who I know, are here as teachers, leaders, guides in this really magnificent time of rebirth on the planet. And this is wisdom that has been, and I'm seeing it almost like little white eggs in the ovaries that it's like have been nurtured and protected and like carried through our matriarchal lineage like over hundreds and hundreds of years. And even though there may have been trauma and there may not have been the space to express fully these like this wisdom that is both unique to us and both infused with the matriarchal wisdom of our lineage, has been like protected and like carried forward through all of our generations of the women that have come before us. And then there we are, our egg, right, being fertilized, who we were, our incarnation so divinely perfect and timely, is this time now of remembering, reclaiming, and activating more fully that wisdom, that star seed wisdom, that galactic wisdom that we're here to bring forward. And she's asking us to think of it not so much in terms of like an outcome, but more of an energy, like a spectrum of energy. Because so much of the time we get caught up in the plan or the how-tos or like the exact path, but rather think about it as a cultivation of the vibrations that that speak to you, that pull at you, that guide you into more of your joyful, full expression here at this time. And she's showing me an xylophone. And it's like, the more you can be and nurture and cultivate the energy of that vibration, it's like you bang it and the vibration goes out, and you bang it again and the vibration goes out. And you bang it again and the vibration goes out. Her xylophone though is like different and cool and really ancient looking. Truth speakers. Okay, so she's talking as well about truth speakers and truth seers. Truth seers, like seeing the truth and speaking the truth. And how, let's see here, what am I being? And this came through before the call again about this speaking and seeing of the truth. And I think my sense is a little part of that is the work that we've been doing up to this point about clearing all the layers, clouding the true expression of our beauty, of our truth, of our power, of our mission. And just give me a moment. I'm just going to pause and have some water too, just so I can recalibrate a little bit. So this really lovely ancient medicine woman being, our grandmother's grandmother's grandmother, she's disappeared through a like a little like wormhole, like a little, like she's gone to another dimension. She's gone. So I just want to see where we're headed off to next, what messages are coming through, what we want to untangle, activate. Okay. Oh, it's so interesting. So there's like waters coming through again. And water, and like the snake, but water like the Nile, like the ancient rivers that have flowed on the planet for a long, long time, that really speak to us of primordial and Shakti energy and the depth of our ancient and blood wisdom. And I'm seeing the snake move through the ancient waters of the Nile. And let me just take a moment and see where we're going with this here. Okay, so this is a lot of what's coming through is about creative, like, power and flow, and living in the depth and the power of that primordial flow. And I'm being asked to ask you to feel the ancient Nile river, and even the snake, like feeling that wisdom like in your lower chakras, and letting it stir. Because actually one of the very first messages that came through when I saw the snake was about fear of our feminine power. Fear of our feminine power, because it is so powerful. Because it's so powerful. So feeling like that cauldron of like the Nile and the snake, because it is slow and it is powerful and it is deep and it doesn't think with logic, right? It like, there's a pulse to it. There's a flow. And it's intelligent in its own way. And I'm going to kind of draw, I want to leave us in this space of just really feeling the depth and the power of that, letting it anchor into the lower chakras, feeling the depth, the grounded, like cauldron and stir and depth and power of this energy that exists within us. And as it's stirring, like allowing it to flow through, oh, I see where we're going, to flow through the chakras, like up the spine, so deep, and it's like thick, like I'm gonna say honey, but thick like honey, and it's like, it's warm, and you want to start to see it kind of swirl through the lower chakras, like, so starting at the pubic bone or yoni or the base of the spine, and we're going to see it kind of like do its soupy swirl through the womb. And then you can go ahead and just start to see strands of it move through the spinal column, right through the central nervous system, taking some deep breaths in to the pelvic floor. You can even tighten the pelvic floor as you breathe in, and then breathing out and releasing. And we're just going to let that energy just kind of move through our body. And I don't know about you, but I'm like feeling my body's kind of like moving. So just breathing and moving. Okay. So as that's happening, we're just going to, there's like an untangling. So this is like the spiritual DNA wanting to be activated, the remembering of our ancient and divine power as women, you know, as all beings, or all women in this space. And we're clearing away all of that. And I'll go into clearing work here in just a moment. But we're clearing away all the foggy illusion of what it means to be in our raw, ancient, female, creative power. And and now I'm seeing like that cauldron. We had the Nile River and we had the snake, and I'm just seeing it turn to this really beautiful, golden, sparkly energy. It feels very, very activating. And it's moving in this beautiful circular way through the chakras, up and down the chakra column, but also through the spine, through the central nervous system, clearing out all the cloudiness from any ancestral wounding, but also societal limitations, societal illusions, unconscious, collective beliefs and wounding. And then taking a breath. And this does apply to our masculine lineage too. You know, we're upgrading our spiritual DNA, and we will be getting into that in other transmissions. And today it's this beautiful bridging of our earthly, ancient, primordial power with our higher frequency, divine, feminine queen codes. So I'm going to go ahead, and we want to go back up to the gold door, and we're going to drop the gold door open. And you can kind of like in your mind's eye look up, and you're going to see up through all these dimensions, and then you're going to see like this pure consciousness. And down from there are strands of energy and coding, and we're going to bring that down. You can kind of see it cascade down, down, down. And same thing, it's going to enter in through the head. And we're just going to allow ourselves to receive all that divine sustenance and all those true codes of our divine feminine blueprint, our queen codes, who we are as powerful spiritual women having this human experience. And we're going to let it like go through, run through the chakra system and also through the spine, and just seeing that energy like crisscross, kind of like upgrading and dropping in the codes to upgrade our DNA. I'm going to go ahead in this space. I'm going to bring in the drum, and I haven't used my drum for a while, but I'll just do a little bit of drumming, soft drumming, and we'll just kind of sit in this space and let the energy do its work. Being mindful to stay in your body and to breathe. And if there's any soft tears that want to be expressed, we're just allowing the emotions to flow forward. And any thoughts and feelings. Beautiful. Okay. Wow, the energy has certainly changed. Everyone feels there's a density now. It's like everyone's like really like landed. Um, okay, I'm seeing this visual of this like naked, like young woman, and she is crying. And she is crying and crying, and there's like this like vulnerability to her, and there is this like she's just feeling like an immense amount of being tired and like shame. And what I feel like it is though is it's like it's the energy and essence of like an old pain body that really doesn't serve and that actually wants to be released and cleared out today. And that we can like, you know, love this part of ourselves and love her, because obviously there's nothing to shame, to be shameful about. But it's my sense is that it's like a little bit of like a wounded pain body that wants to be cleared as subconscious level and out of our field, because we're dropping into new codes, and we're receiving and remembering the power of being a woman. And in the journal too, because I wasn't sure where this transmission would go, you know, there's some opportunities to just like explore like the relationship like to our blood, to, you know, women who bleed, even if you're not currently bleeding anymore, because there's a lot of collective stuff that can get wrapped up in that. But let's go ahead and look at, and I'm getting this energy of like sacrifice, like this woman, this young woman that was conditioned to, that bought into some of the conditioning of society around like sacrificing her voice, her body, her beliefs, her feminine, her wisdom, her perspective. She's so done. Like I'm seeing her like raging, and she's still like naked, and there's this like purity to her, and now she is raging. And because she is so done with the paradigm around the feminine needing to sacrifice. And so she's asking now, and the staff is like coming through again. And staff represents like power, like third chakra power. But she's like asking us, like, it's enough. It's like, what truth are you ready to take a stand for? Oh, this truth piece makes total sense. That's really coming through strong today. What truth are you really ready to take a stand for and say no more? So, okay, so there's two ways this clearing work could go, and I just want to tune in here, because part of what wants to be cleared out are some of the patterns that have been picked up around, well, it's raining in the yurt. I don't know if you can hear it. Are the patterns that have been picked up from around the time that we were like in that maiden energy, from like, you know, 12 to like 22. But also I want to see if the clearing arc wants to go any other place other than that. Okay, so we're going to go, yes, because it's all tied in together. That makes total sense because, yeah. And, and it's like, I don't know if the tired thing resonates with you, like the tired of like sacrificing, but it's not even like our fatigue either. It's like the generations of like women that have come through before us. It's like an ancestral fatigue. And this is the beautiful part about doing the ancestral and matriarchal clearing work, that that connects us to our earthly bloodline, our ancestral bloodline, is that a timeline healing and shift can happen backwards and forwards through time when we look at this piece. So I'm just going to go and look at, so we're looking at some ancestral clearing. Okay, so I'm seeing a whole bunch of women gathered around this. It's actually the same pool of water that we saw in transmission 2. I don't know if you remember, but there was that pool of water, and it was like the womb water, like the ocean water, like the original body of like water that existed on the planet from which all life came. And I'm seeing all of these women, and they're from all different nationalities and backgrounds. It's amazing, actually. And they're all gathered around this like pool of water. And they're all like scooping the water out, and they're like, I don't know if they're drinking it, but they're like scooping the water out. Okay, they're scooping the water out and they're anointing themselves. Like they're anointing themselves on the womb, they're anointing themselves on the third eye. And it's all quite beautiful. And the message that I got around this pool is that it's like the pool of like eternal youth. It's like the pool of eternal youth, because it has to do with, it's the pool of eternal youth. This pool of water represents like our ability to self-source energy from the womb, and to connect to the higher cosmic energies and the lower energy, and that we have this profound ability as women to like self-source our power, to self-source beauty, to self-source pleasure, to self-source I got a little carried away there with the sourcing piece. There was one other piece that wanted to come through around that, to self-source energy, essentially. And I was really feeling into how beautiful it is that we have this powerful ability to self-source. And then also, where does the masculine? I was like, the masculine, we have all this ability to self-source. It's pretty profound. But it becomes about self-sourcing and landing in a place of powerful sovereignty. And then it's where we share it in sacredness with other people. So sometimes it's where we have like overgiven or sacrificed in an attempt to, out of conditioning, receive what it is that we want. Like maybe it's like we just need some energy, we just need some support, we just need some like love, we just need someone to see our beauty, whatever it is. And we're all at a different place with all of these different pieces. The journey is sovereignty, is rooting into who we are, right? Anchored into our throne power, who we are as queens, right? Pulling and drawing on this ancient feminine wisdom and this primordial power that we have access to in this earthly realm. So my focus is still being taken to this beautiful body of water with all of these women. And it's a pool, and it's a self-sourcing pool. It's like the elixir of life. And when we think about, the womb holds the codes for creation. Our blood holds the codes for creation. And they're just continuing to like gather and feed from this beautiful ancient pool. And so the invitation is to go and walk to the edge of the pool. To walk to the edge of the pool. And we have all of these women gathered from all of these different lineages, and the way that they're dressed and the way the visuals coming through, for me, is pretty profound. Like they're almost like all in their like original, like like garb of like what would have seen or felt like sacredness or royalty in that particular lineage. It's just stunning. And to go over to the water and join into that collective experience, and go into that collective experience, and then see yourself adorned in like whatever way feels sacred and royal to you, to see yourself adorned. And this elixir, this like beautiful, like ancient, like pool, this like this fountain of like life exists within you. It exists within you. But going ahead and scooping up some of that water, almost like the baptismal water, but scooping up, and it's the same kind of like concept again of like baptizing, but scooping up some of that water, placing it on like the third eye, scooping up some and putting it on the crown chakra, scooping some up, placing it on the heart and the womb. And allowing yourself and I'm seeing this beautiful circle now getting bigger, and allowing yourself to collectively plug in to the remembering of your ancient feminine lineage, your royal bloodline. Hand in hand with all of these magnificent women, with all of your ancestors, and through the palms of your hands, just start to receive and share this beautiful like woven tapestry of collective remembering. And the message that is coming through from the field is, it's like you've been anointed. Your ancestors are working very, very closely with you. And this is there, whether we're working intentionally with our ancestors or not. But the invitation this week, I might have to update that journal, would be to really listen to the medicine and the wisdom of your ancestors. In this space, going ahead and just listening to and receiving any messages that might be coming through for you in terms of what we've moved through or what you're experiencing this moment in the field. And while you do that, I'm going to go ahead and listen again to see where we're going with. Okay. Okay, so let's dive into, I actually feel like we got so much from the activation that happened with the Nile River and the energy moving through the body in terms of like clearing work and upgrades. But I'll go ahead and untangle anything else now that wants to come through to support any awarenesses and integration of what we're moving through today. And so let's see here what comes through. Okay. So there's an ancestral belief coming through, and there is, oh, I see. Okay. There's a vow coming through again, but the vow is connected to, oh, I see. Okay, this is cool. So the vow, which one is most aligned for me to start with? Is it the vow, or the belief? Okay, we'll start with the belief. Okay, so this is an ancestral belief. Okay. So the belief that's coming through, took me a sec. Had a little thing pop up on my phone here. It distracted me. Um, the message that's coming through around this belief, and I'll kind of pull forward a little bit more of a story for you to connect with, is patience is a virtue. And patience is a virtue. Unless it means that we're so patient that we're sacrificing more, that we're sacrificing what we need, what we want, what we desire. And I'm seeing, like, I don't think the way that this ancestral belief is coming through is not like really, really old, but it actually has to do with, and we'll probably run over just a tiny bit today. So if you have to hop off right at the 1 hour mark, that's fine. So I'm seeing like a man beside a woman, and it's patience is a virtue. And it's like all of those places and those spaces that the feminine has been like tampered down in order to like appease the world around her. This is really sneaky, the way that this shows up, because there's a little bit of like conditioning around this of like being the nurturing one. So patience is a virtue. And so where our emotions get tampered down, where action gets tampered down, where our desires get pushed to the side, and again, there's like subtleties to this, and we're all at different places in our journey. So we're just looking for at the edge of what this looks like in terms of our experience. But it's connected to the nurturing nature of the feminine, but it's also where it almost has been used as a way to slow us down, to not take up space with our beauty, truth, power, and with the speed that we're actually designed to create with. Oh, this is good. And the speed that we're actually designed to create with. And I love this because we're going to get into this vow, and I could immediately see where this was going with the speed that we're actually, because a lot of us now, we're anchoring into new timelines, and the speed that we're able to create is becoming much, much faster. But the places that we often find ourselves slowing down in terms of how fast we can manifest and create, especially when we have like all parts of our power and our creative sexual energy and our vision and our embodiment all kind of like, landed and in alignment, it's enormous. But the place that very often the feminine gets out of flow and out of sync with her ability to manifest quickly is family. It's family. And it can be with our spouses or with partners, because patience is a virtue. Because when we change and shift our vibration, we're inevitably, right, we are we are taking up space in different ways with our manifestations, with our wants, with our desires. And ultimately too, it's like when we shift our vibration, it affects like the whole family matrix too. And it can affect the people that we're in relationship with. And so it's slowing it down because patience is a virtue. But there's some subtle energetic dynamics tied into where patience is a virtue, as like in the terms of the role of the feminine has like served the family unit, but also in a way where it's outdated. It's like patience is a beautiful quality, but not to the point where we're sacrificing our expression and our desire and how powerfully and quickly we're able to manifest. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to clear this belief out, and then I'll just land it with anything else that wants to come through around it. Someone just joined. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to We've all opened up to the Akashic field. Everything is open, but just because we're diving into another layer of clearing work, I'm going to ask for the Akashic records of each woman on the call and each woman who will be listening to this call in the future. Please be open now. And then if you are in accordance with that, you can just silently or out loud say yes. And I'm going to ask that belief that patience is a virtue. Let's see what chakra it's sitting at. First chakra, second chakra, third chakra, heart chakra. Oh yeah, totally. Oh, I see. Because what it does is it creates an imbalance between the nurturing of others and the nurturing of ourselves. But it has to do with speed. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to clear right to the point of creation, backwards and forwards through time. So we're going to clear this belief of patience as a virtue. We're going to clear it right to the point of creation, backwards and forwards through time, through all spaces, realities, timelines, and dimensions. And then we're going to ask that it be transmuted to divine love and light and then released fully back to source. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Patience is a virtue. Oh my gosh. I also just got another piece of this is about how long we think we have to wait to receive our desires. And that we think that it has to take a lot of time. And again, we're talking about, we're really shifting timelines in terms of, who we are as powerful, sacred women and our ability to manifest quickly. And that it's like, our desires, like our manifestations, like it can snap into this current timeline quickly and with a ton of ease. Right? Sometimes we feel like we have to wait for it or work hard, or we have to nurture it for a long time before it can finally arrive. No, it can happen like fast. It can happen now. So just going ahead and just really allowing yourself to drop in and receive that. And dissolving any and all timelines that are preventing us from receiving our desires now. And now I want to talk about this vow, and I do believe this vow is going to bring everything full circle, because I'm instantly got that this vow is a part of like any and all marriage vows that we may have taken present lifetime or past lifetime. And it has to do with being of service to the masculine. Okay, so being of service to the masculine. This is important because this doesn't necessarily have to do with any partnership that we're in, but my sense is, and I've seen this in sessions a lot, is that it is about coming back into our throne power. It's like the inner union between our divine feminine and our divine masculine, anchoring into the throne, our throne power, right? Knowing that this is our queendom, right? That we are divine beings having a human experience. And that as divine beings having a human experience, we are powerful creators having this human experience, and that we are meant to live in a space of sacred prosperity and sacred wealth, right? To have freedom, to have ample health, to have wealth. So we're remembering who we are as we anchor into our own queendom. And I'm going to bring it back now to this vow, and we're going to go ahead and untangle that, because what gets caught up internally, part of when we're upgrading and we're rooting into and dropping into our divine feminine, like legacy queen codes, is that we're upgrading our internal energetic foundation between our divine feminine and our divine masculine. And we're clearing out, all the wounding or contracts or beliefs around old agreements and old wounding, whether generational or past life, around the feminine and masculine. And this is a part of where we get to anchor into our sovereignty. Right? We're showing up in this throne power, rooted in who we are as queens. So this vow, let's go ahead and clear this vow. So along any and all timelines and any past or present experience, we're clearing this vow where the feminine is of service through a marriage vow to the masculine. And we're asking that it be cleared and destroyed right to the point of creation, backwards and forwards through time, through spaces, realities, timelines, and dimensions. And then we're transmuting it to divine love and light, and then releasing it fully back to source. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. You know, we're remembering that it's our birthright to be wild, to be free, to be sacred, to be sovereign, to be prosperous. And this is that place where we anchor into our throne power. So we're going to come back and you go ahead and like anchor into your throne power, anchor into the womb space. See yourself being the temple, being in a temple. This is your queendom. And there's one other piece that just floated away on me, but it's an important piece. So just let me get it back here. This is that place of remembering that the feminine powerfully leads. We're going to get into, more of the union with the sacred masculine, because of course that has a really beautiful and delicious place in the scope of our sovereignty as sacred women. But that powerful energy, that Nile energy, that primordial, creative, sexual Shakti energy, the essence and energy of the feminine leads. And really dropping into that place of throne power, of desire, of creative and sexual sovereignty. And we're going to go ahead and just like hand over heart, hand over womb, and just connecting into the energy of she. And we're giving her permission to lead, to speak to us through that creative, rhythmic pulse, the way she wants to flow, to let her lead us and guide us through pleasure, through our desires, and our natural creative impulses. And so it is. So I'm going to just give us a minute or two to integrate. So go ahead and have some water. If you have to hop off, I totally understand, but having some water and just sitting in this space and receiving. One of the final pieces that I've just seen as I'm sitting here in the space is Goddess Isis, like one of the original goddesses, like the goddess of like blood rights and sacred sexuality. Very, very powerful priestess. She just came through and just kind of like bowed down to us. She just bowed down to us and really carries all those golden codes of like throne power. So just knowing that, I'm sure she'll show up again now that she's shown up this time. So lovely. And there's a piece in the journal too this week about her. And one of the fun pieces of working in the Akashic field is that we can sit in the space and we're much more easily able to call in and connect with the goddesses and receive their wisdom. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to thank the guides, guardians, angels, masters, teachers, goddesses who have been a part of this experience today. And then you just knowing that all of the healing, the clarity, the activations, the intentions that have unfolded today They're going to continue to unfold into completion. And the door between the worlds is now closed. All that sparkly light that we brought down from the door at the very, very, very beginning, we're going to just go ahead and see it gather up to the core of our body. So just like any, leftover or residual emotions or thought patterns, we're just going to gather it up to the core of our body, everything we're complete with. And we're going to see it go back up towards the door. And we're going to release it all back to source where it can be transmuted to divine love and light. And you can take one last breath in and out. Okay, beautiful. Awesome. Thanks so much for being here with me today. Share in the Facebook group. I love hearing from you and witnessing you. And yeah, the playlist and the journal should be ready for you later today. Otherwise, I'm sending you all so much love. I'll talk to you soon. Oh, there's a chat. You're welcome, Jiley. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.